Let me know when we're starting.
We're ready to go.
I make a motion, we call the meeting to order.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Lampier?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Is there any board member who has a conflict of interest or anything to disclose regarding the agenda items before us?
I do not.
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 He does.
They're disclosing the siren. Would you like to read the meeting compliance?
Sure. It'll be the short, sweet version. If you're participating via Zoom, please, if you wish to speak directly to the board, please raise your hand. If you wish for me to ask the question to the board, please put it in the Q&A. I do not respond to the chat function. And all members, whether you're on Zoom or you're in the meeting room, please give your name and address unless you're under a protected class. And I would just say that everybody treat each other respectfully and let's move on.
With that being said, let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. And Justin, would you like to lead us off?
Sure.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Public comment. Anybody have public comment?
Robert Corby, 7 Washington Avenue. On behalf of the Friends of the Arboretum, I wanted to thank the board for the implementation of the knotweed and Atlantis mitigation project. I went down this weekend and took a look at the results. The knotweed all appears dead at this point. I do suspect it probably will leaf out again. That would be what's expected. And so I still think it makes sense for our Eagle Scout to proceed with his solarization project. The Atlantis, I noticed that the grove of 400 trees that the Friends cut here, nothing resprouted there this year, and everything in that area is dead. It's been highly successful. The big grove at the southeast corner of the central meadow appears to be mostly dead and or dying. I would now, one of the things when we come back to you, I think we can begin spot culling the smaller trees and cutting them down, and I think we'll be able to manage it. If there was one more treatment like what you did this year, I think you probably will pretty much eliminate Atlantis from the Arboretum. So from all of us, thank you. Also, I wanted to let you know that our volunteers, Dave Jewett and another one of our work party volunteers found a piece of walnut. They've crafted a bench. Dave Jewett put it together and it's all finished in his garage right now. We're going to figure out a way to secure it. We want to mount it at the entrance, and we'll be coming back to you for a request for that. And the other thing I wanted to just mention to you, and you probably have thought of this, but we have a lot of Bradford pears in the years before we knew the invasive status of that tree had been planted around the village. And I think it's probably time, given the increasing concern about the invasive qualities of that tree, to begin an incremental program to cull those trees and replace them with things that are native and more appropriate. So thank you. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for bringing up the Bradford pears. That's been something I've been advocating for many, many years, to take them out of our canopy. You know that. Yeah, they're everywhere, they're everywhere. We have one right outside this window that we can all look at. So that is definitely going to be part of our canopy project ongoing.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually Bradford pears now, I think they're up to 7 states where they've actually been banned. And we're looking at that in New York State as well.
You can see areas along the 390 where they've gone wild.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, it's the developer's tree too. You see it in a lot of
Every
developments.
suburban parking lot.
I know, it's just, anyway, well, so thank you for that. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to move all the department reports to the end of the meeting and just go right into our agenda items, so we're not holding up people here. I didn't ask, were there any other comments online for public comment, just to check before we started? Okay.
Not have anything.
Okay, no, thanks for checking. Okay. So with that being said, the vernal ponds projects that the Frog House is interested in doing, and as you know, Margot, you came before the board and filled us in on what I think is just a wonderful project to put in these vernal ponds, and I think the way it was left with the board was, to just kind of think about whether we want to go ahead with the project. I think if we do, it would be a good thing, and I don't know if the other board members want to weigh in, and we would take a look at next steps and what that would look like for us to sign off.
Well, the way I understood it as we left, I was to contact Steve, and I did, and he told me that I needed a site plan with the architectural stamp, and I got that. And I asked him to forgive me for getting that in. But I did prepare everything, as he said, if I got it in by yesterday, that it could conceivably get on the next planning board agenda. However, I subsequently learned that it's possible that the board, if you really love these vernal ponds, and since the details exactly, point by point by point, are in the site plan that I gave all of you last time, and all the guarantees and all the backups and everything, and all the legal issues, and that it's possible that maybe the planning board can be left out of this, and that the board itself might say, yeah, everything's set, it's all in order, and we'd like to go ahead with the project. In which case, I could start raising money.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I think what you're really referring to, and we've used this in the past, we used it for the Arboretum in the past, is the governmental immunity from zoning, where we apply the 9 factors. And I believe, Dorothea, did you print that out for everybody?
Yes, they're passed out.
Okay, so you have that in whatever sheet she gave you. Which is certainly something that we could do to just, if we all agree that we can move this forward and it's in the best interest of our community.
That the one you're looking for?
Yeah, everybody has a copy.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, so, that is really the matter before the board. Do we want to just say, hey, this is great, let's go ahead and do this, or do we want to move on, and have it go through the planning and zoning board?
So what would be the benefit to not having them just go through planning and zoning? Like, what would be, is it a time element?
Right.
She can start fundraising.
Exactly. I might not get on the August 7th agenda,
Yeah.
so it would be September. I have a big event in August where I could be promoting the vernal ponds and raising money for it, so I'd rather go ahead.
And am I correct, you're having Mr. Biebighauser coming back?
Yes, I think it's the first board meeting of the fall, September.
In September, so you're looking sort of at a time frame to kind of get things going,
Right.
is my understanding.
Right,
And that's really what, we're trying to convey to the board,
right.
that, there's a time frame.
You have a question?
I'm just wondering, so I'm sorry, when is the next zoning meeting that you could get on the agenda?
Well, I don't know if Steve and Alexander could get me on the August 7th one. Otherwise, I think it would be September 5th.
Yeah.
So Steve, is she able to get on the August 7th agenda?
Pardon?
Is she able to get on the August 7th?
No, because we don't have a site plan, and that's part of the issue here. To get a true site plan, it would be a lot larger endeavor.
So, but right now, if we do that, we're looking at the site plan for the mapping out of where the ponds would go. We have that information, because that has already been presented to this board and the public.
I don't
Yeah,
believe,
okay.
I just want to clarify with our attorney, I don't understand how a resident could make a site plan application on municipal property.
Right.
Hang on.
It would be the village.
It's the village.
It would be the village, if you decide that the application needs to go in front of planning and zoning, you need to authorize the mayor to sign the application to go to planning and zoning.
Right,
I didn't understand that.
or we have this alternative. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Jeff? I think that's kind of really where we are, at this. Dave, did you have?
No, I'm all in favor of vernal ponds, and I'm pretty sure we can apply the 9 factors
Yeah.
to move this thing
I
forward.
think it's a good thing.
But I'll leave it up to you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, Lily.
The question of the funding comes to mind, because that's what we discussed last time. What does that commit us to? if we're signing an application, make an application.
Do you want to talk about the funding again, Margot, just so
Yeah.
we can clarify this for some of the
Since
trustees?
Tom has been doing this for so many years, he has access to a lot of grants and things like that. A front house would be responsible for filling out all the grants, getting the money, and pigeonholing it, or, putting it in a fund for vernal ponds. So if I get $8,000, we can put in one vernal pond in April. If I get 16, 2, and 24, 3,
So essentially, it would be funded
by
Through-
Frog House.
through the Frog House, through whatever, fundraising, grant funding, and then sort of a kind of a pay-as-you-go. If we can get one pond, great. Maybe more fundraising, get a second, could be implemented in phases. That's my understanding?
Correct.
Okay, just so we're all clear on that.
And then
Yeah.
the village doesn't have any responsibility as far as actually putting these ponds in, or is that what we would be doing?
Well, again, Tom would be here to supervise everything. He would request one small ground digger. It doesn't affect drainage or anything like that. And they're only 10 inches, I think the deepest one is 16 inches deep. So he would be there, and we would ask for volunteers, scouts, friends of the Arboretum,
The
community
public, the
members around.
scouts.
And when Save the Frogs has done this before, and they've done it many times, people come. I mean, I nearly went to Indiana last year to help build the pond. People get interested, and so it'd be nice visibility and, restaurants and B&Bs and things for Pittsburgh. if
So,
People came in.
You may recall, the trustees may recall that this was covered, I think, in the last discussion, and there was a discussion also with Zach about, the possibility of just helping to break up the land. Am I correct, Zach? Remember, we talked about that, yeah. So it's not a big project, we're not putting in a swimming pool,
Smaller.
But it
Yeah, but
is a village project.
But it is a village project, but it's being supported through a,
So you'd have to accept a donation.
exactly, we would have to accept the funds when they're
Don't
raised.
you dare accept my donation.
So I
But I
think,
did leave 3 cookies on them.
Yeah,
so
Dave.
my understanding is, in looking at the wetland project and design plan from May 6th, I think it was,
Mhm.
in there, it has locations where they would be in a lot of specificity. And essentially what we're doing is we're asking, do we need to be subject to code or not? If not, right, hypothetically, then we essentially, is it an automatic approval? Essentially, we're avoiding going to planning and zoning, we're approving it as designed. And then part of that is to say the funding is through private donations, and until funded, the project doesn't proceed, we're not beholden to it.
Right.
And so we just
Right.
simply say, yep, we want to do this, we have
Yeah.
some support from the community, we have some support from the DPW as needed. That's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, it's our land, we have an organization that wants to enhance the land,
Get my plaque.
and, and essentially working with us.
Yeah.
And we would have to sign off on it and accept the donation, as you said, and, whatever comes in, comes in. If we get a pond, great, if we get 2 ponds, even better, if we get 3, home run, we have a trifecta, That's how I look at it. I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing, I'm excited about it. I think it'll really activate and engage the community on a whole other level as well, I think it's wonderful, yeah. Anything else from the board? Okay, yeah.
As the Friends of the Arboretum has agreed to be a co-sponsor of the project, and we would also like to commit that we would help maintain the ponds after they're built. A couple of facts that I think might help you in your determination, if you want to waive municipal review, is that the whole intent of this project is to make it as simple and easy as possible. These ponds would only have water in the spring, and perhaps if there was a major spring event, most of the time they would be dry. It would not affect the overall drainage on the property. And they are consistent with the Friends consultation with experts about the best utilization of different physical areas of the property to accommodate a variety of wildlife habitat. And each of these ponds is in a slightly different setting that will have a different type of ecological environment, which will mainly benefit amphibians.
Thank you, yeah, that, we all walked it and did the tour and got, so, yep, absolutely. Anything else from the board? I mean, I think we kind of have, do we want to say, let's move ahead and apply the 9 criteria? Or do we want to say you've got to go through the other process with the PZBA? That is what is before the board right now, and I'd like,
I just wanted to ask 2 more
Yeah.
questions. So I imagine that there would be an administrative process to check for insurance for motor vehicle, for equipment operators on the property. Would that be Steve's responsibility to vet that, or somebody else in the office?
the equipment actually is going to be through DPW. I think that's what that was part of the discussion, that would be, it's our land and we'll have our DPW help.
Yeah, we'd be operating.
Yeah, because you're going down, as you said, no more than 16 inches potentially.
And then as far as the time for the money to be procured and the project to be completed, so that, if we're going to do this, I'd like to know what time limit we're agreeing to. This isn't that we approve it today and then we get money for a bond of 15 years and they say, hey, remember that board decision back in 2024?
We'd like to do it on Save the Frogs Day next year, which is April 28th, every year, although if a pond can be done in a day. So if we have 3 days, it would be the week prior to April 28th. And then the garden club can come in and put in flowers, native plants and so on and so forth. And, how exciting could that be? We can get lots of people's ideas about what they'd like to put in and involve people.
Oh, I think it would engage the community. Also, I know, and it's been a while, but I've been in touch with Mansworth University and St. John Fisher, and, they have environmental programs. They would love this, and I know they would love to be engaged as well. It'd be kind of a great opportunity to bring in those connections as well, so.
So do we need to make a motion then to approve this frog pond, the vernal ponds, by waiving the municipality review?
We would have to go through
First go
formally
through
the criteria,
The
yeah.
9 criteria.
And just because we go through the criteria, let's suggest that it is immune to government zoning. We would still have to create, if it's not already embedded in this May 6th presentation, we'd still have to go through and have perhaps additional specificity to meet, Steve, your understanding, because as this project takes place, we want to make sure it's done according to what we think is happening, right? So we probably even want to go back to and just finalize your understanding of what's happening to make sure what's being built is what is being presented. Is that right?
Locations and sizes. Yeah.
Right, and I'd like to add to that, because I think in addition to working with you, we should also bring in our engineer, Scott Harder.
Sure.
Just so you guys can work together just to vet that and just say, okay, this is exactly where they're going, this is how it's going to look, all of that. So, yeah, Dorothea.
I would point out that maybe all that information can be presented when they fundraise, and if they actually raise the money for the pond, they come in and give it to the village and upon our acceptance.
And then that would be part of the acceptance, and to have the
And
actual.
we would not hire a consultant until that time, for instance, the
Right, once
village
you
engineer.
accept the
So we have
pond,
the
they
budget
have all
secured.
that information.
Mhm.
Just do that now.
Excuse me one second, it's back to the
Just
board.
one more legal clarification. So I just, my understanding is that a vernal pond, even if it's not full with water the entire year round, would still be considered a wetland legally, which might have protections against any kind of a change later on. So this would be kind of a permanent fixture of the park in those places. Jeff, is that correct, or
I
is
have no
this?
idea.
That's
I can
there.
answer that.
Excuse me one second, Okay.
I just want to clarify.
Yep.
Okay. These are unregulated wetlands, and by their very nature, they tend to migrate and move. And if you walk currently along the Frog Pond Trail, there's a number of natural vernal ponds that occur there every spring. These would be very similar to that. If we don't maintain them, they will probably sediment and fill in, but I think the goal would be to maintain them. The other suggestion I would have is if you do agree for us to go ahead, is I think it would be in everybody's interest to stake out the locations of the pond so well ahead of construction, so Steve can review it, and all of you can look at it, and if there are any issues or problems, we can identify them early and address them.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, and I think, and actually, when we did the walkthrough, they were identified, those areas were identified, and I think it would just be finalizing that tweaking that where the areas were already
If I
identified.
may, Mayor.
Yeah.
Just to come back to the protected nature, this is on the New York City Government Parks website, so it's not New York State, but the city. It says, despite the value of these ecosystems, vernal ponds, they're not protected by the legal regulations that safeguard larger, more permanent wetlands. As such, vernal ponds are vulnerable to destruction from development. This is on the New York City
Yes.
Government Parks, but I would just that it applies.
And that was actually part of Tom Beebekhauser's presentation, because they're considered to be ephemeral, that they're not permanent.
Yeah.
And they may be larger or smaller depending on each year. You just don't know with snowfall and rain.
The city goes on to talk a little bit about just how the care for these parks is with local partners, such as the Friends, helping.
The Frog House.
Yep, and the Frog House, so, great.
Yes, Margot.
And the nice thing is when town comes in September, you guys can pick the design you like. Because there are lots of pictures in the book I gave you and also.
A tremendous reference, it really is, yeah.
So do we go
I'm so
through,
excited that you're excited about vernal ponds.
did we go through this
Can we
now?
go through this?
Yeah, Jeff, we should,
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to come to the conclusion that you're going to waive municipal zoning, then that would be better to know up front, so you know where you're headed with the project.
I think we all support the project, we're all excited about vernal ponds, and it's our land, our village land, and I think we all agree this is something that would be really wonderful for the entire community.
So you have to go through the 9.
Yeah, so with that in mind, is everybody in agreement that we could do the nine points? Anybody want to do the 9 points? Okay,
Yes.
I'll do it. You did the 9 points last time, didn't you?
Sure, yeah, I can
Yeah.
I can go through
Kind of
this.
on-
Every time.
That's right, you're the 9 points guy.
Okay, so we're weighing the 9 factors for this document from the James A. Kuhn Local Government Technical Series to determine whether or not we would subject this project to our zoning laws for the village. And the first factor is the nature and scope of the instrumentality seeking immunity. And it seems like that would be the village government itself, since it would be our project. Any other questions or comments?
Nope.
Okay. The second one is the encroaching government's legislative grant of authority. We are the legislative body.
We're not encroaching, really, it's ours.
Well,
Are we encroaching?
we're encroaching on
On
planning
their-
board authority.
Okay, relative to another board's authority.
On their charge.
Okay, that's good to know, okay.
The kind of function or land use involved. Parkland.
Parkland and,
Minimally invasive.
what was that?
Minimally invasive.
Minimally invasive, yeah.
Right, green space.
Yeah, it's an open space district. There are specific provisions in the code about the use of the land for protecting the environment, and I believe this is aligned with other environmental interests, as has been discussed. The effect local land use regulation would have upon the enterprise concerned. Well, I guess identifying the land use regulation that's in place. I mean, this is a LWRP district and the open space district, so generally that would be subject to site plan and LWRP, right? Depending on the exact provisions that trigger LWRP. So we're looking at waiving those land use regulations.
Seeker?
I would imagine. Do we need to do, seeker is not a zoning law, so would we
No,
still conduct
I mean,
seeker?
it would be waiving that as well.
It would be.
We should include it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you decide to waive, then you would waive seeker as well.
Okay, interesting.
I don't think it comes under the jurisdiction of seeker.
We're back to the board, thanks, Margo. Okay.
Any other thoughts about the specifics of LWRP and how this could, I guess that might come into a later factor too, but is there something in LWRP that we're concerned about where applying it would be helpful in this case?
No, I think part of the LWRP is public use, public access,
Yeah.
and I think that
It's in line with that.
follows that charge. for LWRP,
It's a pretty.
guidelines for LWRP.
It's a pretty extensive planning document that, having read through it on many occasions, I would suggest that this pretty easily dovetails into everything the LWRP would look to achieve
Yeah.
on land that's already considered open space.
Or conversely, it's not in opposition to the factors included in the LWRP, if we wanted to frame it
Yes,
that way.
that is right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Alternative locations for the facility in less restrictive zoning areas. No. I can't really think of a better zoning area.
Yeah, you couldn't get any better than where it's going, so, yeah.
The impact upon legitimate local interests.
Positive.
Positive impact.
Positive.
Alternative methods of providing the proposed improvement. Could dig a deeper pond, I don't know.
I was gonna say flooding, we could have flood.
Alternative methods of providing.
Read the word reasonable into the beginning of that sentence.
So that makes it all better.
Yeah.
That makes it all better, right?
There we
always
go.
have that reasonable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it seems like a reasonable method
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
achieving a specific environmental goal.
Mhm.
The next one is the extent of the public interest to be served by the improvements.
Wow.
We'll make a note, Wahoo.
I think it adds to the variety of opportunities for people to engage in nature in our community that currently they don't have. So maybe there may not be an immediate direct interest, but it can create the interest.
And also creates not only an environmental opportunity for habitat, but also an educational opportunity for members of the community as well. So I think it's very positive that way.
And make another suggestion.
Well, we just kind of want to get through this, so give us 1 minute here. Okay.
The last factor is intergovernmental participation in the project development process and an opportunity to be heard. And I think that one of the things that we do need to look at is that by bypassing site plan, this is not involving another board that would typically have jurisdiction in this matter. Some of the other things that I'm considering, though, are, and this is one thing that had me on the fence about this before, is that I thought that compared to other projects that we've undertaken in the Arboretum, this one might be permanent. But it seems that since this is basically a seasonal pond that probably does not have protection as a permanent fixture in the Arboretum, if there were other plans, they would still be able to continue, it seems, based on our understanding of law. And I would also like to mention that this has been brought up in previous meetings, at least one, I believe, where the plans were in front of the public, and we haven't received any negative comments about it.
And also the tour was open to the public too, as well, for people to walk through, and people joined in,
There's
so,
some exposure, yeah.
yeah.
Lily, I would suggest that we send a letter to the Planning and Zoning Board outlining what we plan to do and why we're doing it. So that it doesn't look like we're completely leaving them out of the process
Yeah,
and circumventing
And
them.
it should be as a
board.
matter of record too,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right, yeah, so,
It's very
Dorothea,
important
thank you for
for-
making note of it.
I agree.
Okay, so we're through all 9, yes, and,
My suggestion was that you also add that you're providing wildlife habitat, which is a core purpose of the RLC Corps.
thank you, I had mentioned that as well, so thank you for reinforcing that. Okay, so we're through the 9.
The only comment on the letter to the planning board, the intergovernmental participation in the project development process and an opportunity to hear. Maybe we just add in there the line, hey, additional comments relative to the plans as presented in the May 6th presentation, and include the presentation in that email to the board. Probably makes a lot of sense, because if there is some feedback that they may suggest of us, if they do have time to independently or collectively to look at it, I think there's value there, because we're not yet moving towards the actual site plan per se until later on.
And also there'll be additional opportunities even for the public to weigh in as we move forward and start to talk about the ponds and how they're going to look. So, all good, great. Okay, so now we've gone through the 9 criteria. Is there a motion? So what do we do? How do we close this?
It would be a motion that, whatever the motion would be, but you're going to apply your governmental, the requirements of Pittsburgh Village Code to this project, or you are not.
Are we able to put a time provision on that as well, as long as the project is completed in 2 years, let's say, or would that not would that not be a valid part of the
No,
special motion?
I mean, who knows what's going to change in 2 years?
Does anybody in the public have a concern about us making a stipulation that this would be provisional, that this permission would be provisional for 2 years?
Make it one.
Well, why don't we say 2, just to be,
I think that would be important, yes.
Sure.
just, I mean, I know where you're, I know where you're going with it.
Say 1 year, you raise money.
Well, and also, and I don't know if this would be in the motion, I mean, we're looking at 3, but maybe, what if we just get 1 or 2? I mean, it's just still part of a
And we can always
project.
come back.
Excuse me one second, yeah, but,
I'd be
You see
fine
what-
with
you know,
granting approval for 1 at this point, and if funding is secured for that, we could bring it up at a subsequent meeting.
or we could do approval for up to 3?
Yeah, do that, please. I'd like it 24,000.
Okay, that way, whatever we get,
So my comment, just from a fundraising perspective, is thinking about how we're going to receive funding for this. If we approve 3, right? we
Or up
make
to 3.
Up to 3 immune for the period of 1 year. And the reason why is it creates a sense of urgency to raise funds for getting these done in a near-term environment, and worst case, a year from now,
we
you
extend it.
then go back and we extend it.
How are the funds being received? Would that be Dr. Fass's?
Receiver, yeah.
We have,
How would they be?
yeah, but do you want to talk through process? Because we would set up a separate,
Well,
how would we do that to receive the funds?
I can't answer that 100%. My thought would be if they are doing it, they would pay the bills and this and that, and we would just receive the bonds.
Oh, is that the
Otherwise,
best way to do
if
that?
I receive the funds,
How do we do
if we
that?
hire outside contractors, see there, it gets a little more complicated.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
have to
paying
look
for
at-
pounds coming here. Sorry.
Okay, hang on one second, and then I'll recognize you. Yeah, Jeff, what are your,
I'd have to look at it.
yeah,
It
we have
seems to
to,
me that we're accepting the money as a donation for our project.
right.
Right,
So if it's our project, why wouldn't we be doing that?
then we would pay all the contractors involved.
Right,
Yeah.
right, so
Because
that,
it's on our land.
so when we get, when there is a donation made, we will deal with it. If it's earmarked for this, then
Yeah, it'd be the same thing, I would say.
It's like getting a bench or a
Yeah,
tree.
Yeah.
so is Dorothea going to receive 1,000 checks or 1 check?
I,
Well,
I think while the funds are being raised,
They stay with
bags of coins.
they should
bags
be
of
raised
coins.
on her end, and then she gives me the final check.
Yeah.
For 8,000, so that we're never going to have a surplus if the fund is not
Right.
raised, right?
Yes, the coverage would be
That's
covered.
so it's gotta be $8,000, and then the money comes in, the board accepts it and does a bond.
Yeah, done, one and done, basically,
Yeah.
would be, does that, okay. And I know you wanted to say something,
No, I understand.
okay. So,
Okay.
here we are. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I will make a motion that having gone through the 9 factors, we will say that we are immune from the zoning requirements for the project that has been proposed to the board for up to 3 vernal ponds that would be constructed within a period of 2 years from the present date.
I'll second.
Okay, motion is second.
Trustee Lincoln?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye,
Motion passes.
good motion.
You are all invited to my party on August 11th to dance with the frogs.
Okay, well, thanks, thank you. Well, thank you also for working with the community on this. That's just great.
We're all neighbors.
And thanks to the Friends of the Arboretum, too, for really wanting to hop on board. That's a fun.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Aye.
So just to continue on the brief comment on, the Arboretum's not on the agenda, but is there anything more we need to do at this time with regards to the invasives? Maybe that's a question for Zach, and do I save that for a member item?
We should probably make it a member item, but what we can do is circle back with the, I'm blanking on the company that did the removal, because Dave, it was Davey?
The remediation.
The remediation,
Okay.
yeah. Just figure, because it's a specific time frame for when they go in based on the cycle of the plants. So maybe just to gather information and bring it back to the board,
I'll just defer to all you guys then.
yeah, because it's on a cycle for how they grow. Okay, Next up, yep, oh, it's not quite 6.
Wow.
Oh, we're clipping along. Then let's go
Oh,
to,
we can do the one thing, the addition.
oh, yes, go ahead.
Okay, on your desk, there is a letter from St. Paul's Lutheran Church. I'm going to apologize to the board due to misunderstanding somehow with me being out. I did not receive this application for a special permit. They have a time crunch involved with opening the facility for the, I believe it's kindergarten or
Preschool.
preschool, thank you. They'd like to open September 1st. If we delay it to our next meeting, it's delayed. So all I'm asking the board to do is set a public hearing for our next meeting for this
Oh.
special permit.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
and if the board's comfortable doing that, if we could do that.
Okay, so what's the date then?
Oh, when are we meeting again?
Yeah, so somebody can make the motion with the date and time.
I think it's August 13th.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's right. August 13th, yes, at 6 o'clock it would be.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we set a public hearing for the request for a special permit from St. Paul's Lutheran Church, 28 Lincoln Avenue, for August 13th at 6 PM.
I'm certain.
Second?
Okay, we have a second. We almost got
Lisa's
it.
got it.
Okay.
All
Roll
right,
call.
ready? Trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Lightgift,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Lampier,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Hi.
Motion passes. Thank you, I apologize for that.
Yeah, well, it's good, it's on, they're on board, and we can let them know. Yeah, because I know you're meeting with them. Okay, thank you. Okay, next up, management of geese on Canal Path. I don't know that you can ever manage geese, but
We have a funny, isn't that funny? You thought the same thing I
I know.
did. Who's managing those?
I don't know.
I don't
You
think
either
anybody.
manage geese or you herd cats. I don't
Resist
know.
management.
I know. Well, I want to just bring this before the board because, and Zach, this has just been ongoing, I know with DPW, but we've received so many complaints from residents and people along the canal path about the goose poop. And I know you're there every single morning, holding it off, trying to just deal with it.
Yeah.
And so, I thought we should take a look at this. You have in your packets, there's some sort of systems or what are, ways of potentially disrupting where the geese are. One of the reasons why they are, in this instance, we'll just say, use where the Sam Patch docks and that part of the path by Gembitat, is one, Gembitat sells duck food. And aside from that, they have the geese actually, in terms of habitat, have access to the embankment, so they can go right up. As opposed to if you look at the other side of the canal where, the town pavilion is, and it's built out with the dock and the expansion of the walkway, they can't access. So they come over on our side to come up on the path, and then obviously there's the duck food, so.
Can we say welcome? Welcome.
I know, we do.
Here's your path
And
and here's
they
your
have the
food.
same thing right down by DPW too.
Come on
So-
up.
And they don't migrate, so another component of this is that the population is expanding really rapidly because they're being fed, there's no incentive to move on. And it's disruptive, I think, for people on the canal path and, all of that. So here we are, yeah, Lily.
I think at one time, a number of years ago, let's say about 10 years ago, maybe longer, we had the National Wildlife, or somebody came in and they rehomed them. They came and removed, there were domestic ducks that were introduced in with the wild ducks, and it was becoming really kind of a scary situation genetically down there with the ducks, they were mating. And so somebody came in, and the next day they were all gone. Somebody came in and rehomed them. So I don't know if there's an agency that will come in, because I know they're federally protected, so you have to be, very careful. But I do think that they can be rehomed, especially because they're fouling, excuse me, the water.
That's the pun, yeah, the following.
You get too many, and they're
Oh, yeah.
disrupting the ecological balance of all that, and the fish dying, everything's happening. So I think that we have a situation that might warrant an outside agency coming in to examine the issue,
You can reach out to
and
all
maybe
of them.
being a public health also concern.
Oh, yeah, everything, all of the above.
So my question is, there's numerous signs posted by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation that say, please do not feed the ducks,
And us.
right?
We
All over
post.
the place. So is there any way of legally enforcing that? I mean, it just seems like
If you want to write
there's,
tickets,
Why wouldn't we, could we possibly, let's take a look at, because they feed the ducks. So the ducks have absolutely no incentive to go, or geese, they have absolutely no incentive to go anywhere. So, and maybe we could, I don't know, direct Jeff to take a look at, can we outlaw selling
It seems
food
like
for
we have
witwildlife?
2 players here that were just mentioned, or at least one player that was mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, the DEC
Mhm.
and the Canal Corporation. What does the Canal Corporation do about all this stuff usually?
I don't think it's on the radar either, I would agree. Maybe
If the
DEC.
DEC put these signs up, do they have some,
We put the sign in.
No, but we do. We
oh,
do.
so
No,
those are our signs.
There are
Yeah, those
signs,
are our signs.
yeah.
but it says DEC on it.
Per the DEC regulation, do not feed the wildlife.
So there are DEC regulations.
Oh, yeah,
So who upholds those regulations? Is it supposed to be us?
Probably.
yeah,
supposed
it
to be
would be
us.
us.
DEC's got bigger problems than.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so
And
we
who
have
stops people
legal
from biking on the
authority
canal
basically to
path?
uphold
But
these
I wonder if they have
regulations.
solutions to
The
DEC.
solutions are stop feeding the ducks around that area. That's the solution.
There's a DEC page on nuisance geese.
Nuisance
Nuisance geese.
was the first word I saw.
Yeah. I don't know what they are yet.
Well, I also think we should take a look, I think if we weren't selling the duck food too, that would help. I mean, I don't think it's the solution's any one thing, it might be multifactorial.
Yeah, you're still gonna have people that are gonna bring their own food, kill geese and stuff.
Understood, but
But not as
nonetheless,
much,
it's less.
yeah.
You know.
Because people that come that don't have their own food, that don't even know you can feed the ducks, and then they say, oh, the duck food, that's probably 50% of the
The
people.
amount of little brown paper bags that we find in the garbage.
All the
I'm
time.
sure.
You know, the guys use this to sell their corn.
And I brought this up to Steve, and Steve felt that he didn't feel that it was appropriate for him to go in and tell business that they can't sell something.
Which brings me back to, is there anything that we could put in our code about not allowing businesses to sell food that, for wildlife, because it's against the DEC violation code?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think we would at
Why
least,
not?
yeah,
Right.
so we at least have, I don't know, sort of, what's the word I'm looking, something that we can cite within our
Right.
code to say, you can't sell this is, disruptive to the species,
The health
to
and
the
the welfare
habitat.
of the community.
Just to finish my thought, yeah. I don't know why we couldn't take a
Well,
look
if the
at that.
DEC has regulations, I wonder who can enforce those regulations.
Can we enforce the DEC's regulations?
That's right, and maybe,
So they're-
and maybe we could do that.
Well, let's back up.
Do you know those regs are?
Yeah, we'd have to, yeah, you're looking
Do I
at,
know where the regs are?
Yeah, do you know what references to? Okay.
No.
well, it's referenced on the
Yeah,
sign.
it's on the sign, I can't cite it.
Oh, there is a reference.
Oh, yeah.
outside?
Yes,
I have it
per
right here.
DEC regulation.
Email it to me?
That's right
Yeah.
there. Want to see it?
This is specific again to then
Just to-
regulating the people feeding.
I'm just saying.
And I think to the mayor's point, the idea is to regulate the ease of access to the feed being
Yes.
given to the geese. And so if the village were to have a code
Or the
that prevents
DEC.
the sale of goods, in this case, duck food, that is intended to be consumed within 100 feet of the property or 200 feet of the property, that shall not occur. And so if we create that code, then Steve, as code enforcement officer, could enforce it.
In addition even to the DEC regs, maybe? What do you,
No, I was just wondering if you'd had it already written for us. But maybe.
yeah, okay, but Steve.
2 things, that is something, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. He's got a sign out for duck food, I think,
Yes,
that will be removed. There's no approval.
Because there's no approval for the sign.
That's the first thing, and I have a contact at the DEC, I will call them tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. So that's an action item coming out of
And then
this
you and I
then.
are going to talk about what the guy at the DEC said.
Okay, so the action item then would be to direct both Steve and Jeff to follow up and take a look at current codes, what we can do as a village if we need to reinforce our own code, set up something.
Can we do anything in the winter down there to take away their ease of access?
Being that it's the canal bank, we're kind of limited without a formal plan and, or altering the landscape.
Well, I mean, another thought is too, we do have the grant funding to do the enhancement there, and so that can be factored in,
Right.
at some point, yeah.
It should
exactly.
probably be done sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
because the erosion still continues to happen.
I know, I saw that too.
So I'm waiting for a response from the canal corps right now, but I'm coming back to me.
Thank you. Yeah, because they only shorted up temporarily, really.
Right.
It was a temporary fix with them assuming that we were going to be coming through
Yes,
to do something on our.
so we need to get on that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, okay, so,
So
Yeah.
Steve, you're
Can
going to,
we,
hang on.
when we look at the code, and maybe you included this, just an overall also ban for people feeding wildlife in general into the code?
There's actually something that
Well,
was
there
in our
is.
code.
It was.
But it was repealed for some reason. I'll send the reference to Jen. I don't know.
Yeah, because I thought we had something too.
Yeah, I did too.
There's a
Okay.
curious
While somebody
footnote.
came
And I looked
down.
at it, I couldn't
Then
find it.
let's let the action center to just research this. Where are we with this within our own code?
Yeah.
What's DEC doing? Okay. Yep. Because it's not going to get any better until we do something. Also, I like the idea of following up on the rehoming,
Yes, I think it did happen.
Do you
Yeah,
know who that was that initiated that?
I went.
I can make some inquiries. I have friends like at the Genesee Land Trust and, I can.
DEC might even.
DEC might have something too,
So,
yeah.
Lily, I think it was a private institution.
Oh,
Somebody like, not Lollipop Farm, but somebody like that who,
Or like Wild Wings or something.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
don't
I can
think
make
it's a
some-
State agency, I think, I don't know.
Okay, I'll make inquiries though. I think I can chase that down.
Do we want a motion and second to direct Jeff to review this
And
matter?
see you work on it.
Yep, both.
Yep.
Okay, is there a
do we
motion?
need a motion?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I make a motion to have Jeff look into current code or possibly develop a new code that will prevent people from feeding the wildlife and the sale of food, which seems to cause issues with duck poop, geese poop.
I'll second.
Never thought I'd hear geese poop in
Geese
a
poop in a
motion.
motion, it's good though, right?
Number two.
This is going down.
Okay.
All right, we're going off the rails
Trustee
now.
Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay, well, everything's just stucky, so we're moving along. Review of the Monroe County Water Authority Agreement. We have that in our packet. It's, Jeff, you took a look at that, and
It's fine.
we're fine. It's pretty much what all the municipalities get.
It's a type 2 secret action to enter into this agreement.
Okay,
617.5 C 26.
is there a motion? For seeker?
Make a motion to define the mayoral approval and signing of the agreement with the Water Authority to be a type 2 action by seeker according to 617.5C26.
Is
I
there a second?
second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
trustee Coe,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay,
And make
cruising now.
the following motion to allow the mayor to sign the agreement with Monroe County Water Authority for the long-term lease, still lease rights.
A second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're gonna have water.
Is that all we need for that, Jeff?
Yep.
We're good, thank you. Okay, next up, where are we here? Oh, the review of the rental registry application. And Lisa, you had dropped something off?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at the application, and it's nice and simple. You'll see, you'll love it. And I just
That in
want to,
everybody's desk.
Okay, you have a copy here.
There it is.
And I just kind of just did a quick Google search on what other applications, rental applications look like. And because I was a little concerned that it wasn't descriptive enough to kind of give us an understanding of actually what they're renting. So I sent everybody the Huntington rental application that looks very similar to what we have, except for they have a section. Did you see this?
I haven't had a chance to even
Oh, I'm
look
sorry.
at any
Okay.
of it,
I
so.
thought it came in the packet. Did
No.
everybody get it?
My understanding was
Oh,
dropped off.
Alexander, right, Alexander was going to just send it, leave
I
it on
thought,
the.
I understand it was dropped off today to be dispersed at the meeting.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's not, I mean, in other words, I haven't even had a chance to look at it,
Okay,
so I
so
would
it-
want to take the time to look at
and
it. I'm
it's
not going to make any.
just briefly, and we can look at it, at, at a later time, but it's just briefly, just something like this,
Mhm.
which is a graph that's a little bit more descriptive as to what is being rented. That talks about, is there a living room, is there a kitchen in each unit, just so we have an idea of the occupancy. It's kind of, I thought would be important.
So thank you for this. So why don't we do this, since we haven't really had a chance, the board hasn't had a chance to look at it, and it's additional information. Why don't we just table it for now? Everybody can kind of take a look, and we'll just
Sure.
bring it right back,
Sounds good.
next time. How's that? Okay?
The only question I have is for Steve, is how quick do you need a rental registry permit approved for you to get the ball rolling?
Well, you're putting together the registry anyway, so you're just continuing.
Yeah, well, we need a form in order to start the process. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible without, because the more information we have to garner, the longer it's going to take.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking over 100 rentals.
Okay, but for now, why don't, you've brought in additional information, let's just take a look and just bring it back. Okay.
Did you see this? Steve?
Okay, yep, he's got a copy too. Okay, next up, the updated tree and bench donation program application.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you.
Previous meeting, the board, we discussed the tree donation form. I updated to cover the 450, that makes the amounts consistent. That was an error on the form. I didn't know if there was any other change the board wanted to see on this, or an increase in the fee. Otherwise, if you adopt and agree that this is the form to be used.
I was fine with what you said.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, so if we can have a motion second to approve this is the tree donation form.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll
Okay.
call, please.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. We're on a roll tonight. The bench form. We brought the bench form back because there was a question that came out after the adoption. We increased the fee to $2,200. There was thought of putting a timeline on the dedication of the bench for where it would retire to possibly like 10 years, that they would have the bench for that. And that isn't reflected in the application, and I need to note that it is, the board is in agreement that the benches should have a time, a set time frame.
I think that's a good idea, because most municipalities do that. Otherwise, you're just stuck restoring benches, and
Yeah.
you're going into just our own money to keep doing that.
And not only that, we'll get inundated. We'll get
Yeah, that's true,
inundated with way
too.
too many benches.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
10, 20 years, we'll have way too many.
More
So
benches.
it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I had a note on it, I just didn't, at the time, we just approved the tree donation program, that I recalled it. But this speaks a little bit to the bench thing too, which in the current tree thing, donation program that we just approved, there's a line that says it'll be professionally planted and maintained to ensure that it thrives. So that's good, but then it goes on, the gift will be honored with a plaque by the tree as a permanent record of the generous donation. So eventually trees do die, and the permanent record is no longer permanent. So are we agreeing to something that we can't actually do?
I would think you would note that upon a certain amount of years, if the tree doesn't thrive.
If the tree's compromised,
We would retire the plaque to the donor.
We just gotta let it
yeah, they
go?
would get the plaque back.
Okay, all right, good enough, good enough.
Yeah.
All right, for the benches, though, I agree, like,
Yeah.
there's probably some period of time by which, this bench is gonna be certainly there.
Yeah.
Is it 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as a practical matter, because you're saying you do the restoration every few years. We were trying to prorate that cost from the tree to the actual labor
Mhm.
for the DPW,
Bench.
for how, yes, for the, because they do the restoration over the winter. And factor that in, so you know, what, you wanted to add something though, Zach?
What happens after the 10 years?
Oh, we'll sort that out.
I would say the plaque can be handed over. to
Yeah, the plaque from the
donor.
bench could be
The bench
returned.
stays, the plaque goes.
The plaque can go back to the donor.
And then another person who wants
Yeah.
a bench can put their plaque on that
Yeah.
bench and pay us another $2,200. No,
Okay, yeah.
for the
Yeah,
bench
we'll
to take
see,
care of it.
yeah, we'll see,
Okay.
you know, it's,
Do a 10-year thing, do a 10-year thing, and then maybe 10 years from now, we have what's called a maintenance plaque, right? Instead of like buying the bench and then maintaining it,
Yeah.
maybe there's a slightly discounted rate for the
Yeah.
maintenance.
Because the $2,200, I think, also includes.
For a
the cost of
slightly
the
used
bench, which is
bench.
around $100.
Somebody else's thing.
But it's seasoned.
okay.
That's 10 years from now as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll add the
The 10,
language
the
for
retirement.
retirement of the
Mhm.
bench after 10 years, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
does the board want to see the application before we move it forward, or just want to accept it?
You're just adding in that line.
Yeah, so we're just
Okay,
adding that
I'm
line.
Fine with it.
So,
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
so if the board will accept this, yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay,
10-year.
do you need a motion?
Yeah.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve the bench donation program with the amendment to add a 10-year retirement timeframe. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
roll call, please.
Discussion?
Oh, discussion.
Yeah, if somebody puts something really funky in the lines that we don't approve, like, somebody
Oh,
could,
interesting.
somebody could purchase into the bench program and write some crazy stuff in lines 1 and 2.
I would say that the board has to, like
Yeah.
tonight, I'm presenting a bench donation,
Yeah.
so I
You can
have the
accept it or
language
not.
you can review and make sure it's acceptable.
Should we add that to the?
But hang on, but I don't know that we need to, because we choose to accept the donation or not. So that is already built in,
Ah,
whether or not we even accept the language on the plaque.
sounds like a plan.
How's that?
Thank you.
Okay. Asked and answered.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Trustee Lanfair?
No.
Okay, trustee Lickett?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Discussion? Can I discuss, or,
Well, we're in the middle of a vote.
so we can't do it now? I
But
just
after-
kind of
after-
wanted to know why you didn't like it, Lily.
I'm sorry?
I was just
You're
wondering
voting
why you
no.
voted
She
no.
wanted-
I voted no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes, because I don't believe we should put a limit of 10 years on it, because I think some people come back after a period of time with their grandchildren or whatever, and they're looking for their bench. I think maybe a little extension, I would have thought maybe 20 years would have been more realistic, but I know how the board feels, so I just don't, I don't
No,
want
I
to
understand.
go down
Yeah, I just
path
wanna
of
know your
arguing
thoughts.
over how many years.
I just want to
So
get
just,
those.
I'm
Okay.
letting it go, I'm just expressing my own
Sure,
opinion.
sure,
yeah,
sure.
thank you. Okay, continue with the voting, please.
Okay, trustee Coe?
Yes.
Trustee Marshall?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes,
Motion passes.
okay. Oh, it's 1 minute after 6. Yeah, we can switch back over
Mhm.
to our public hearings. The first up is the special permit application for 15 South Main Street. Oh, we should bring a chair up. Here,
I can bring this one up, that's a bit. Thank you.
okay. Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm doing well, how are you?
Great, thank you. Okay. So the board has a copy of the application here. Everybody has that? All righty. Do we have any questions? Steve, is there anything you'd like to add about this application? You're good with, okay, just, just to weigh in.
To be honest, I technically do not consider, I know there was a question in regard to first floor. This technically is not first floor.
Right.
It's been covered. Yep.
Right, second
Thank you.
floor.
That
Yep.
would be my determination.
Thank you, Steve,
Okay.
for clarifying it.
Do any board members have any questions for our applicant?
I do not.
No, it's pretty low key here. Okay, is there a motion?
So we have to open the public hearing for this? I make a
Motion
motion
to-
to open the public hearing for special permit application at 15 South Main Street. Do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lickett?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
The public hearing is open. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? And also, please check online just in case, too. Crickets?
We got people?
Okay.
Quiet.
Okay, all righty. Okay,
Very quiet.
is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I make a motion to close the public hearing. Oh, sorry.
I have one thing to add. Typically, previously, we've always reviewed the special use permit considerations as part of the application. So we will acknowledge that each of us has them in our possession. We've reviewed them, and we find that this special use permit, it does comply with all of the considerations used as our board, as a reviewing board.
Thank you for adding that.
Thanks, Lily.
Yes, Jeff,
You gotta close the public hearing on that.
we have to close the public, I know,
Yeah.
but yes.
I make,
When we close the public hearing, we're,
Oh, okay, sorry.
because we're in the public hearing now.
I jumped the gun, sorry.
Yeah, but you were
It's
correct.
still applicable, I mean.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, okay, so where are we with this?
So I make a motion to close the public hearing for 15 South Main Street. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Yes, trustee Lanfair.
No,
do you
what I
have
just
anything
said.
to add?
What I said previously, rewind, and that's what the
Yeah.
special use permit considerations. The board has reviewed them and found that this special permit complies with the considerations under our review.
Thank you.
So that being said, I will make a motion to accept and approve the special use permit for 15 South Main Street in the Village of Pittsford.
A second?
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Thank you. Thank
It'll be
you
nice
for
to see
coming
that stay still.
in. Just leave the chair.
Leave it?
That's, yeah.
Thank
We're on a
you.
roll. All righty, have a good evening. Okay, next up, we have the short-term retail application amendment, actually, for Holiday Hots.
Yes.
Yeah.
The town, as well, is going to do the park across the street. They need to move Harley Hots in order to start this project. They are wanting to start it yesterday. They have the funding, they have the contractor lined up. In order to do that, they need to move him. They thought that the driveway here next to the hall would be a perfect place. You can still park down at the bank parking lot, the old bank parking lot, and then walk down to use Charlotte.
And then
Otherwise, they would have to put him somewhere else out of the town.
Right, and that came before the board, we were aware of this, when the application was put
Yeah.
forth, because the fire department has approved the use
Yes, there was a letter.
Fire
there was a
district.
letter that from the
Yes.
fire department
Yeah.
approving the location.
as a matter of record.
And from the town.
Mhm.
So the
And
location is the Holiday Hots driveway?
Yeah. they
Or, I'm sorry,
Wadham's.
Wadham's
Mhm.
driveway?
Just
Okay.
temporarily
Yeah,
for the rest of
That's
us.
what I thought, okay.
And it's kind of handy for us, because we can just open a window. and-
Yeah.
You know.
Thought that's
And
right.
I think the other advantage also is that you'll be aware if traffic begins to stop, they spot him, and sometimes people just put on their brakes and they pull right up to that curb. I'm just going to stop for a minute, I'm just going to run in. So you'll be aware of
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
I do that for.
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
people
it happens.
going over there, I go across the street and
Mhm.
get yelled at.
Okay,
So I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing for Holiday Hots.
is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Public hearing is open. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this matter? Or anyone online?
All quiet.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to close the public hearing for Holiday Hots.
Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Okay, trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the hearing is closed. It's back to the board. Is there any? Yep.
Seeker, I missed it.
Oh, seeker, yep.
On 15 South Main Street,
Oh, you're right.
um,
That's,
but it's a type 2. So I don't really think you have to go back and remove it, but you can determine it to be a type 2 still. So let's finish off Holiday Hots first.
and then we'll circle back. Thank you for bringing that up.
So it's type 2, 617.5, C 21.
All right, I got that written down. So I'll make a motion to determine the application for the Holiday Lodge short-term permit to be a type 2 by seeker, 617.5C.21.
I'll second.
Thank you, roll call.
Okay, trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, so we had seeker.
So now I make a motion to approve the amendment to the Holiday Hots application for the short-term retail business permit.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Okay, trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I make a motion to declare the application for 15 South Main Street to be a type 2 action by seeker, 617.5C.18.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Should I make another motion to approve it now that you did seeker?
No, I think we're fine.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, because both are on the record. Yeah, thanks.
Great.
Okay. Okay, next up.
Was it different? If we had to work through seeker, then you had to remove.
Okay, okay, thanks for that. All right, next up, the short-term retail application regarding the use of Sutherland High School for the Buffalo Bills training camp shuttle.
Make a motion to open the public hearing for the short-term retail business permit for 42 West Jefferson Road for the Buffalo Bills to use it as parking for training camp.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Steve, seeker.
You just opened the public.
We're in the public hearing, so, yeah. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this matter from the public?
I have nothing online.
I just want to say that the Bill's process and everything is exactly the same as last year. They got permission from Southern High School. There's no change in route, no change in methodology.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you, that's helpful for everybody. No one online either? Okay, okay.
Make a motion to close the public hearing for the application before us for the use of Sutherland's parking lot for parking for the Bills training camp.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Same seeker.
Same, 18 or 21? 21. Make a motion to declare this a type 2 action by seeker, that being the application for the Buffalo Bills to use Sutherland as their parking and transportation lot, 617.5C.21.
I second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Any discussion before I make a motion to approve?
I think we're on a roll.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the application to the board for the short-term retail business by the Buffalo Bills for use of the parking lot during training camp.
So a second.
I'll second.
Aye.
Fine.
Okay, trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Touchdown. Okay.
Thank you, Buffalo Bills
All right,
organization,
yeah.
for coming back. We
Yes, we
appreciate
love
you.
I
them.
know. It's a good thing. Go Bills. Okay, next up, approval of the proposed planting project donation from Pittsburgh Garden Club.
Yes, you
Yeah.
will find in your packet, I'm sorry it was so late in coming, I just received it today.
Yeah.
And there are photographs of the proposed plantings, all native,
Yep.
and the proposed planting plan. The request is that the DPW do the planting and the maintenance going forward. The garden club would be donating the plants and their time in planting. They'd like to be present. One of them, one of the representatives would like to be present, so if there's communication between, either you can tell me or the group, when you plan, or when
I'll do that.
around this timeframe maybe that it might happen, so that one of them can be present.
And if you could give us the contact person,
Yes.
so Zach has the
Yes.
contact person directly from the
Yes, I
Pittsburgh.
will.
This is great, this is so wonderful that they want to do this.
And
And they're natives,
they
that's
also
fabulous.
requested mulch. I know that there's been a little downplaying of the mulch,
Mhm.
but they did request mulch in this,
Mhm.
on this
Wood mulch.
mulch, because
We
it's the
have, we
time of
have
year
mulch, we have mulch, we're good.
to keep the moisture in,
Yeah. Mhm.
because it's going to be a little challenging.
Yep, once we get them established though, because they're natives, they'll be great.
Yes, that-
It's
that
wonderful.
should be good.
Now, this is a
So
really
I thank
nice
the
project.
Pittsburgh
from them.
Garden Club very much for their
Yeah.
donation
Yes, very
and for
nice.
the time and energy that they put into this
It's wonderful.
project. And so I guess we need a
Mhm.
motion, do we?
Yep.
To accept
Yep.
the donation.
Yep, is there a motion?
It's a type 2 secret, actually.
Oh, we have to do seeker. So it's, and what would it be? Which,
It's 21 and 26 this time,
I'm sorry, 21
and 26.
and 26. Okay, is there a motion for seeker, type 2?
I will make a motion that the Village of Pittsford accept the donation of Pittsburgh Garden Club for plantings at 1925 South Main Street in the Village of Pittsford in the pedestrian.
Do we want to do seeker first?
Yeah, let's do
Oh,
seeker
let's do seeker
first.
first.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do
sorry.
seeker first, if we could
Yeah.
get a motion for the type 2.
Motion to declare it as type 2 action. Do you need the numbers?
Yep,
617.5C, 21 and 26.
Thank you. That's the motion.
mhm. Okay, so, thank you, okay.
Okay, I have Lily and Justin on that, just to
Yeah.
make sure I was hearing
Yeah.
everything right. Okay, great.
Roll call.
Trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes for seeker.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the donation from the Pittsburgh Garden Club for the plantings?
So moved.
I'll second.
Well done.
Wasn't there a condition that we're going to maintain them?
Yes, with the condition that our DPW will do the planting in conjunction with the oversight from the garden club and ongoing maintenance.
Sorry, can you remind me where this is?
Right in front of the old SJs, where Chicky is.
The new pedestrian crosswalk.
And they're not bagel.
On the,
Thank you.
You would know Chicky, but not
Yeah,
bagel.
yeah, he will, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, you ready? Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Pittsburgh Garden Club, and thanks to the DPW for your help too
Yes,
on
thank
this.
you.
That's just great. Okay, next up, zoning code review for the TDD. Do we want to leap in?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I understood the code right, and in particular, put it on record for property managers that my understanding of the code is that for personal services, including salons, aesthetics, and other things like that, it's the second floor, not the first floor of the TDD district. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some consideration I have to talk as well about perhaps expanding that limitation to other zones, but I'm just sort of going to drop that for us to think about, because right now we have sort of the two primary zones in the village, right? It's the VGB and the
Village Gateway.
VCB. And so essentially you have the very tight properties, and then as you expand out beyond the old Rachel's, going down State Street, as well as you, to the degree that you, in the bank, for example, and across the street, the law office, there's some properties as well as you go towards Monroe Ave, where we may want to say, hey, look, we have quite a few salons in the village. Maybe we want to put a pause on that and just have either the special permit not be available, just eliminate it as a use entirely, right? Or have it be second floor only. And part of this is it's this idea of trying to bring retail back to the village in greater density. And it's just a consideration to think about. We don't have to make a decision on it today, but at least from, my understanding moving forward is there's no approved personal services on the first floor in the TDD.
That is correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, no, thanks for bringing it up, too, definitely. Yeah, Lily.
This is just an observation. In the past, we referred to it as storefront zoning, and that because we have such a very short, small retail district where the buildings are close together and where you hope to get pedestrian walking, the thought was that you want to create a vibrant storefront interaction with public and, the larger windows with the display of merchandise, and that's the ambiance that you want to create. And so sometimes salons might not fill, or personal services might not fill that requirement. And so what was occurring was that when we would get applications for special permits for a salon or personal services, they would include retail in with their application.
Some product or something.
And so if you look in Northfield Common, for instance, the last few that we have, some of the ones that we have recently approved, they also carry clothing, they carry product, they carry accessories, as well as providing, they've recognized that they're not just one thing that they're offering, and whether it's, hair services.
They're
brow.
activating it differently so they can receive foot traffic.
So I think we need to acknowledge that as well when we're looking at our code. And if we're disallowing personal services, then what do we do with these hybrid business models that come before us that include both?
Well, I think right now, so the mixed-use Erie Canal is uniquely different because the only place currently that a special permit could not be granted for a personal services location would be the first floor of the TDD. If somebody were to come in and say, hey, in the VCB, which is basically where the Village Bakery and Rachel's was, all the way down to the library, all those spots, there's not that requirement. All of those buildings potentially could become salons based on the code with special permits. So my question before us is, do we have a density of personal services today where we'd like to say, let's no longer have special permits available, not just disallowed on the first floor of the TDD? I'm asking the question beyond that.
And that's actually, thank you for that. I mean, I think it's a larger discussion topic beyond this, for the board. So I appreciate you bringing it up. And then maybe what we can do is circle back.
So
and maybe
village-wide, you're saying, village-wide.
A little bit more village-wide, where what I believe we have a fair amount of personal services currently in both the TDD as well as the VCB that remove the walkability of the retail experience. And I think it's appropriate to address it. Right now, the only thing that is on the books that needs to be understood and enforced is that first floor in the TDD just simply isn't approved, and it's not available, right? But do we want to do that beyond for some period of time? It doesn't say that the businesses that aren't there won't continue to exist and remain in existence as they are. And in fact, it limits their future competition. So.
Okay, no, and I think, there's greater consideration, obviously, that we need to have with this, but it's a good topic for discussion that we
So
certainly
there's
bring back.
three of us that.
I mean, it's
feel that
preferable,
way.
what you're saying is preferable, because you do want that dynamic Main Street.
Right.
With the windows, and you're looking at something, not just somebody getting their hair cut.
That's right, and I don't think, shared use is the way to go. I think it is retail or it's
Okay.
not. And so this is where if there's three board members who perceive that similarly, then we can instruct our attorney to move legislation forward.
Okay.
Well, I think we need to have further discussion, maybe even like a little mini workshop or something, as part of a meeting. Just so we really hammer out what that would look
Are we
like.
looking to have it on the next agenda, or?
I would like to keep it on the agenda until the
Keep it,
decision is
okay.
either made or rejected.
Okay, so we'll bring it back. Okay, thank you. Next up, yeah, Steve.
The only bit, kind of comment it just leads me to think that you have vacant spaces that aren't going to fill or aren't filling with retail now. So,
That's why we're bringing it back for discussion, because every time we take a look or want to change a code, there's always consequences. So we want to have a larger lens on it. So thank you, yeah. Okay, moving on. Well, we already discussed this, the fire district.
We kind of covered
Yeah,
that.
we kind of covered that.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, I suppose the only comment there is
Yeah.
the planning and zoning board had a meeting with the fire district last week
Yeah.
about proposals, and if anybody's interested, it's things that all of us can take a look at.
okay. Number 10, the Burdette, love still the use of Burdette. The Burdette lot lease extension. Any comments on that, Jeff?
no, it's fine.
Okay, just a,
It's a very basic deck.
yeah, it's been, an ongoing agreement that we've had with the owner. And it's worked out.
Is it a secret action?
You have secret on that?
It's type 226,
Type 2, 26, you said.
61745C 26.
Okay. Anybody want to make a secret motion?
Make a motion to identify mayoral approval of the lease extension agreement to be a type 2 action by seeker, 617.5C.26.
Second?
Okay, trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the mayoral signing of the extension with the Burdette lot lease agreement number 4.
Second?
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, why don't we switch over then to the reports? And since Steve's in conference with somebody, why don't we start with DPW? Okay, Zach sent out his report. Any questions for Zach this evening?
Are we on your report?
Yeah, we're on Zach's report because you were in conference, so we'll do you after Zach. Okay.
So Zach, I just have one general question. We don't do a lot of sort of big picture DPW conversations, as much as we do these reports, but as far as structurally within the DPW, I just have many questions. I don't know the answer to it. Somebody had asked me that once. With regards to the DPW, 3 to 5 years ago, 7 to 10 years ago, how many employees have we had? How many employees do we have now? Do you know the percentage of the village budget you were over time and where we are today in terms of employees and payroll and staff? I'm just asking general questions. I don't know the answers to.
Some of that I can give answers to now.
And some of it we can also do offline so he can really get you
Yeah, sure.
the level of detail rather, I'd like to
I
cover.
mean, if you want to shoot me an email.
Yeah.
With all that stuff, I can provide it.
I'd like to cover what's in his report and
Yeah.
speak to, but no, I agree, it's important information and he can disseminate that.
Okay.
And please disseminate to the whole board. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah, I'll
it.
just throw an email. It's kind of like the big picture stuff that having only been in this position for
Right.
about a year and a
Sure.
half,
With like
I
the
never- I don't
history.
know, so
We,
it's
we throw.
correct.
Yeah, so we can circle back on that. Okay, in terms of anything in the report or any questions? The village is looking, we've been getting so many great compliments. The village has been looking really great, with the exception of the geese, but what are we doing here? Okay.
Oh, how's the Arboretum access thing going? Pain in your butt, or it's handled okay?
I mean, we're dealing with the same thing that we've been dealing with, and every day there are people walking past the front of our garage, cycling through there, people.
Even during the day when you have it?
Mhm.
Okay. Any progress, again, not related to the DPW reports, are there? Any progress on sort of bringing the enclosure plan back? Is that down the road?
Yeah.
Yep, we'll be bringing it back.
Okay, down the road for now.
Mhm.
All right, sounds
Bringing
good.
it
I had no questions on your submitted information though.
And then what else? You had something else included in, what was this, Monroe tractor,
Yeah, the
letter of intent?
So, yeah, that is,
Speak to that.
I'm pretty sure you guys would have gotten that in the packet.
Mhm.
That is the letter of intent for us to move forward with the lease for the replacement of our existing case 321 Company Road for a new leased version of it.
That's all in the lump sum plan already,
Mhm.
and it was a lease there, so this coincides with everything. Were the costs similar to what we'd anticipated, or it's under the threshold?
I think those are the same, these costs. So this was on the last agenda.
Yeah, it was. The
Yeah.
board approved it. This is because of the timing of getting the piece of equipment. We
Yeah.
have to do a letter of intent.
We can't put the order in with Monroe Tractor until we have a signed letter of intent showing that we are engaging in this.
So you're looking for the direction to have the board make a motion to have the letter of intent signed?
Correct.
That's the action you would like?
This is on secret, Jeff. Okay. Make a motion to approve the letter, or approve the mayor's signing of the letter of intent for the lease.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Jeff, if I may, would you mind sending us around an updated vehicle inventory when the changes are made with this? Because we don't have that many large vehicles, so if we could just get a
Yeah,
copy.
nothing's changed since we put all this together.
Yeah.
But yeah, once.
But I mean, once we have that vehicle in place, the timelines will update and stuff, and it'll just be good to have that.
Yeah, all that stuff will be updated as we look through it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else for us?
We'll just have to discuss, it says, it's on the agenda, as number 11.
Yeah, we can do that in an executive session. We'll address that as well. Okay, Steve, oh, yeah, Lily, yeah.
I have two things with Zach. Number one is when I met with Zach about a bench placement, potential bench placement, we were noting the ineffectiveness, as Steve has pointed out previously, of the walk your bike signs on the canal path. And the fact that we cannot, due to canal authority, put up any impediments to anybody going through. So I'm wondering if the board might brainstorm in the near future some possible painting or other non-invasive, I don't know what to call it, opportunities to maybe even stripe it in somewhere, do something colorful down there, right on the pavement that says, no bike zone, no bikes.
Yeah.
That's it, get
I
off
just
the
want
bike.
to
No bikes.
specify that the signage that the Canal Corp did not approve was the sign that would go in the middle of the path.
Yeah.
So we would still have to provide some sort of detail and get their approval if we wanted to add additional signs to the sides of the path.
Okay, even on the walkway,
Yes.
not, okay.
Painted?
So-
Are you saying?
Sorry, not painted, but an actual physical.
The actual physical signs you're looking for, really? You're not talking about painting?
Yes, I'm talking about painting right on the
I just
asphalt.
wanted to be clear that there was a separation between what
Yes,
was first proposed, which was the center
right.
of the path.
Because I understand that they don't like
requesting the
anything that's,
Yeah, it could be an impediment.
Right.
They don't like that.
but painting could be a possibility, whether it's, I don't care what it is, flags, flowers, whatever, anybody wants, just to
Something more obvious?
say, this zone right here is for pedestrians only, period, no bikes, no bikes. And so you don't have to, no question about walking your bike, you just can't do anything with your bike there, you gotta go around. And to put the bike racks at either end of that, so they have some place to put their bike, and
Yeah.
there are no questions, they can't do it anymore. I don't know, so.
Okay, well, let's take a look at that, and then maybe bring back some of the ideas to the
Okay.
board.
Lily,
You know.
some discussion. I think that would not be appropriate to not have any bikes, because a lot of people
They
bike
walk
through
it.
there. I mean, so if they're going through that area, because they're, continuing their bike all the way to Fairport, wherever they're going, so if they were to have to put their bike there,
They're supposed to ride around.
right around onto the street.
Yeah, the designated bike path
Right,
is
I get
along
that.
Shane.
But you don't feel that walking your bike is appropriate in that space?
They're ignoring it.
But I think they'd ignore the going around, too.
I think they would ignore the going around.
I think it's the fact of
I think-
disrespect.
I don't think we could create that significant amount of change in
Right.
behavior.
Right. To
I
say,
suppose, if we can at least get them to dismount the
Yes.
bike it's safe to walk your bike.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
to get them
Safe,
to
you
do
know,
that.
because
We
it's a
get 'em to
safety
do it.
issue
Yeah.
that we've identified. So behavioral changes are incremental,
Okay.
you know? Yeah, Steve?
And I do constantly, I mean, when I drive, I go through there probably twice a day, and I will see people, and I ask them, you know, please walk your bike. Some will get off and walk, some just go, okay.
Yeah, well, you know, we have to try. We
Yeah,
have to
I know,
try.
I know, I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
I don't think signage is gonna make a difference with ones that
Yeah.
won't comply.
Well, we're going to try, so we'll come up with a few ideas, bring them back to the board.
And what's
Okay,
interesting,
so
Steve,
with
is
paint after.
what's interesting is there was a night down at Shane Place when I was sitting at the gazebo, and there were people at the fire pits, and there were actually people saying to people biking, excuse me, you got to get off your bike. I mean, like, just visitors. So you're not alone.
That I think is going to have more of an impact.
Exactly, and it really did, because people were getting off their bikes, they were embarrassed. So, yeah.
Could we, I'm just curious, could we put up signs in the flower beds, like upright signs versus putting it on the paths too? You know what I mean, go along the place, walk your bikes, or no bike traffic, or pedestrians only.
In our
It's
planters,
still on the canal path though, right? So we would still have to get the approval,
Yeah, which I don't
which
see that
maybe they would say yes to
pushing
that.
back against.
Right.
I know, that might be,
yeah, that's
Good idea.
We can do that at the Y's. I mean, pretty much anywhere that we want. We just can't put them in the middle.
so let's, I say both, painting and the,
Yes.
you know, belt and suspenders,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I-
Like, let's, you know, it's one more way to connect with people. So why don't we bring this back to the board with some of the ideas?
Okay.
You know, we
Zach,
can
I
put it
have-
on the next agenda even, just to follow up on it, because it's the height of the season, you
I
know?
have two questions about benches. So Mr. Newcomb, I told him, and all exciting, that the bench is in, and I told him that we need our plaque information. He's going to get that to us. He wanted to meet me today at the location that we were going to put his bench at the Four Corners. He said, well, you know what, would it be possible to not have it here and have it in a different location? I said, anything's going to be easier than this. But anyway, so he wants to put it down on the canal, kind of in front of his, I actually have a picture of where he wants to put it. There's other benches along there already.
Okay.
It's,
If it's not on the state road, we can pretty much put it.
Yeah, it's at our
okay, so
discretion.
I thought it was easy.
Yeah.
I'll show you exactly where he wants to put it. He wants to put it closer to where his office is, so that he can see it.
Okay, so why don't you guys connect
I'll connect
about
with
the
you.
space on that?
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one I wanted to ask you, so we have these beautiful plastic chairs at the bus stop down on Monroe Avenue, you saw that,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Because residents are concerned there's no place
Mhm.
for people to wait. I went through RTS, they say it's not in their budget.
Okay.
The Rotary had an ask if they would be able to sponsor a bench to put there, and wanted to know what process they went through. Now, the president of the Rotary is going to talk to RTS and see what they can do, but they would donate the bench to that space. Is there anything else that the village needs to do to be involved with
It's
that?
on a state road.
Is it within the right of way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in the right of way, it's also at an RTS bus stop, so I don't know if RTS would have to go through, if we'd have to go through an approval process with RTS as well.
Well, the Rotary president's looking into that, so she'll let us know what RTS
okay,
says.
so
Yeah.
So
they can
just to
follow up.
let you know.
Yeah, so
That's great, though.
Yeah,
State
looks better than the
RTS.
plastic chairs with sandbags.
I think there's two entities. I think when we looked at it once before, RTS had to be a part of the process as well
They are.
as DOT.
Right.
Yeah, they would be.
Okay.
But no, that's great that Rotary's following up on that. Yeah. Lily has a question.
I have another one, and that is the sign at the Jefferson Road and South intersection, which is glaring, in my estimation, glaringly absent. And I would like the board to consider the expense of having that sign replaced. And we did receive an estimate from Zach regarding that replacement. It was bundled at the time in with the other sign. I think at this time, the critical one is to get the one sign. So I'm asking the board to do a review of our budget and our expenditures and to see if we can't somehow come up with the money to get our sign replaced at the entrance to our
Let's put it on the
village.
next agenda and circle back with the information. How's that?
Yes.
Okay?
And that's not covered by insurance
I'm sorry?
Mhm.
because it was damaged? It's
It's
not?
gone. What do you mean?
Or stolen, or our insurance doesn't cover that?
Village
It's
insurance?
I don't know.
It was
Should.
hang on, we have the,
It was too small really to submit. You don't want to submit for the small items.
Because it would make our,
We've had
Premiums go
several
up.
claims, it would increase our rates, it's
Yeah.
not worth it, it's just worth covering the cost of replacement. You don't want to do the little stuff.
Small little stuff.
okay, so we'll put it on the next agenda, we'll circle right
Yeah.
back on that, see where we are. Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lily. Okay, Steve? Any questions for Steve?
Oh, Blue Horn's back.
Yeah,
Um,
they couldn't get a contractor.
Oh, interesting, okay.
I don't know what they were planning, he was just doing some interior remodeling, he was planning on doing interior remodeling, but I caught him coming out the door earlier in the week, and he said he couldn't get a contractor in, so.
Well, I'm glad he's still there.
Okay, so there's that.
Is there an issue with the property manager at the corner of Shane and Main Street?
Yes,
Is the property manager is negligent?
well, it's the owner.
It's
The
been
owner is
ongoing.
interesting, I sent another email today saying I will be issuing a second violation, and the next step would be a court appearance.
Yeah.
So
You've been
I issued
working on it.
an initial violation, and
Okay,
the only hard thing with that is that she may end up just closing the parking lot.
She doesn't own the entire lot.
no,
I know, but that'll be a fight between,
Well, we'll
deal
cross the
with
bridge
that.
when we get there.
Yeah, she's threatening it every time I
Well,
talk to her, so,
she can threaten all she wants, she has to comply with our code.
right.
Yeah,
So I am on it and going after her, trying to get that cleaned up.
that has been ongoing for you, it has absolutely been
And
ongoing.
the issue with the tenant is, at first she was supposed to be out in May, then it's June, now it's August.
At some point, that'll happen.
I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, that has been an issue. Okay, thank you. Dorothea?
I have a few items tonight. We have our bill pay.
You want me to stick around with this?
We're good? Yep.
Not that it's not exciting.
Are you saying?
Oh, come on, bill pay, the highlight is bill pay.
I thought everybody waited for my report. But
I know.
I'm afraid I won't be able to get to sleep tonight. You had me so wound up.
Well, thank you, thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
Jeff,
Yeah.
before you head out, that was going to be my number item. Is there anything you should say forth for that?
I don't. You gave me an assignment.
Yes.
I haven't done it yet, sorry.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Okay, so we have the bill pay. Is there any questions on the abstract?
Now that you can read it.
Well, the abstract was fine. It was
It
the,
was the, you're right, it was,
I don't
yeah.
understand, sometimes
Character encoding.
Adobe
Yeah.
does weird things.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that.
I'll entertain a motion if there's no questions.
Motion to approve the bill pay as presented.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Lampier.
aye,
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
And the motion passes. So I don't want the board to get too excited. We don't have financials in front of you. What you have is Dorothea trying to move this process along. I have to have my budget transfers as part of our final stuff to close out the year. I won't be seeing the board before I have my financials done. It has to be into the state by July 31st. We don't have a meeting. And I have to get it to our
Thanks, Jeff.
accountant. We're missing two pieces of information for me to do the financials. Everything is done except Monroe County has neglected to tell me what our mortgage tax for the accrual is for last year. I have a call in and you were supposed to call me. And we just got the updated numbers from Monroe County Water Authority to do our sewer billing, which is accrued into last year's budget numbers as well, because it's the service time frame for that year. So once those numbers, the billing process is being inputted right now. So I'll have these numbers hopefully before the end of the week, so then I can close out the financials. But in the meantime, to close the financials, I need to do the following budget transfers.
Yep.
So the good news is, if you want to read into what I did provide you with the general fund, is we are going to have a surplus. That surplus is only going to be raised, I think it's going to be at least another 10,000, because that's what our mortgage tax was last year. I can't put a guesstimate in. So The good news is we came out the end of the year just fine and dandy. So,
Good.
but that leads the board to the question, now you can take some of that surplus and go ahead and fund the reserves as you intended in that budget.
And we'll do that after we get the final financial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm
Put it
just,
on the next.
Or we could buy a sign.
or you could buy a sign. I think I can squeeze it out of this year's budget. But honestly, I just wanted to give you that news, there's no,
Okay, We're not-
that is the delay.
Okay.
They're both on
Okay.
my hands.
No,
So-
no, you're just.
But
trying
if
to
you can
move
approve the
it forward.
budget transfers for general and sewer, that'll clean it up. Sewer was sweet, it only had one transfer.
Mhm.
General is much better this year. If we remember from last year, I think I had page after page because every line had to move.
You have to do this to get to a zero.
I have
Yes.
to get this, I
Yes,
have to.
because everything has to be filed by the end of the month.
And everything I could do on my own was already done. This is where we discussed, if it's not a like number, I can't do it, so I have to have the board.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So is there a motion? The motion would be to approve the budget transfer
Transfers for general and
for general and sewer.
Make a motion to approve the budget transfers for general and sewer.
Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Lanfair?
aye?
Trustee Lickett?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
So in the same vein, I have included the annual financial report. It used to be called the AUB report, now it's the annual financial report because the state changed the name.
Mhm.
We engaged our accountant through MMB. Yeah. So I just need authorization to go ahead and sign the retainer agreement for him to do the work to complete this project.
He helps us finalize the report.
Yeah,
to be-
he finalizes the report, he takes all our numbers, he reviews them, he inputs it into the system for the controllers, then I review it, then I hit the final button, then we get the report, and it goes to the state. And
So this is in compliance to file the report in the timely manner with the
Right.
state at Albany. Okay.
correct.
Just so everybody
And we are
understands.
anticipating, I don't foresee us needing an extension.
Yeah,
We're hung up on two numbers. so.
yeah, and that should be forthcoming anyway.
As soon as I get that,
Okay.
he gets all the reports and he finishes up.
Okay.
So you need a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement? Is that-
Mayor or me, doesn't
Okay.
matter.
I'll make a motion that the mayor signs the agreement for MMB to conduct the proposed project.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lanfair?
Aye?
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Coe? Lickett?
Aye.
Wow. Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes. It's going to happen in one meeting.
Okay.
Okay, I spoke to trustee Lanfair and Zach. They reviewed a location. We received a check and a request for a bench. I'll pass it around. You can look at what they're looking for on the plat. There's nothing,
Okay.
Thanks.
but I need authorization to go ahead and accept the donation for.
So the motion would be for us to accept the donation of the bench.
Do we have a placement for the bench?
Lily and Zach reviewed a
Yeah,
spot and we have
they're
it
working on it.
already. We just need to order the bench. And we have the check, so I can't even process the check until.
So it will be ordered.
Yep, as soon as you guys agree to accept the bench.
Perfect.
I didn't want to get ahead of the process and order it. before.
Yeah, no, we have to. Yeah,
I make approval to accept the donation. We don't have to make,
Motion.
we're making a motion.
yeah. I know what
Oh,
you mean.
wow. I make a motion to, or I make an approval, either one. I make a motion to accept the donation for the bench. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. You got it?
Okay, trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Lanfair,
Aye?
trustee Lickett,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
You have a bench.
We're moving along. Okay,
Can I just, sorry to maybe go back a moment, I just had a question about the, some of the expenses. I know that we approved some transfers there, but there were some that you highlighted. Like
those
the-
are the highlights of what I'm transferring.
Okay,
She's just
okay, that
reflecting
was,
it in
I
the-
see, okay.
yeah.
I highlighted the yellows, the
Yep,
negatives.
yep,
I
okay.
always try to highlight the
Which is
negatives.
nice.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
know
then we
where
can see
the
it.
budget transfers are coming from.
Yeah, I just had one question about those. It wouldn't affect my vote on transferring, but I noticed that we were like over by 7,500 on engineering for 75 Monroe and stuff.
Yeah, that, well, I transferred, it was actually more. I transferred from those lines to cover the negative. It was an unanticipated expense, and we didn't get reimbursed from them, so we had to use our fund balance because we had to pay the vendors. So that is something
To be continued?
to be continued. The board should take that
Yes.
in consideration in all future negotiations, is what I would
Yeah.
recommend.
Yes, Lily?
Same one, number 745. Remind me again who Mengel and Metzger were.
That's our account.
Accountants.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
If I
you.
had
I
to
didn't recognize
over
it.
a year-end.
Got it.
Yes.
We call
Thank
them
you.
MNB. Okay, all right, anything else?
Yes, we have the Zogland retainer agreement. This came to us actually late. It should be done in conjunction when we do our organizational.
I think she was
Approve her As
traveling.
the attorney, we should authorize the mayor to sign the retainer agreement.
Yeah.
Is this any different than what it's done?
Yeah, it's standard.
Yeah.
Instruction. I'll make the motion as suggested by the clerk.
Is there a second, please?
I second.
Okay, trustee Lickett,
Aye.
trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
The motion passes, and I lied, I have one more item. This came to my attention today. I had a resident approach me. In the past, we haven't given the resident's name. Due to unfortunate circumstances, we can't explain why they didn't end up with their tax bill. She, of course, alluded to that she has never been late in 50 years, and I
Oh,
told
my
her the
goodness.
best I could do because I can't waive those numbers, the
So are you
penalty.
requesting this of the
I'm
board?
requesting the board to waive the penalty and related for, it's going to be $64.82 for the resident in question.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lickett?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
What else is on your list?
That's it. I'm out. I'm on vacation next week.
Wait, we have minutes.
Yes,
Well, we have a few other things too.
but I am withdrawing one set of the minutes for further review, so
Okay, and then, yeah, let's do minutes, then we'll do member items, and then we have an executive session.
There's nothing else for me, I'm going to, and I'm done.
Thank you, thanks so much, have a good
Thanks,
evening.
I believe it's the April 23rd or 24th minutes and going.
Oops.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
April 23rd, I'm withdrawing it this time. I'll be presenting next time.
Oh, okay, so which ones are left here?
April 9th.
April 9th, okay.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the April 9th, 2024 minutes as presented.
is there a second?
I second.
Is there a discussion? Everybody good? Roll call.
Okay, trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lickett?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, let's go to member items. Billy,
In our April 23rd minutes, it references an action item involving Scott Harder, and I was wondering if that action item had been accomplished. And that action item was to do with the boundaries of the RG&E lands through back area behind Shane's Alley. In the April 23rd minutes, on the last page, it references that it was an action item. It was brought up at that meeting, and then,
You were looking for a boundary map. The map that Scott had, the state didn't. It was related to the Canalway grant for Shane Place for the 300,000. I had reached out to Scott. I believe this
I
is,
think this is something different.
yeah,
This is
it
the
was,
one, no,
it
this
was
is
a
different.
question that a resident had.
Behind Northfield Common?
I'm sorry.
Was it behind Northfield Common?
Yes, yes, it was the RG&E right-of-way and
It
where
wasn't
that
agreed.
property line
Oh.
was.
I don't have that. I have what Scott, the thing from Scott was related to the Canalway.
This is something completely different,
Yeah.
not even
This is
related.
Lily,
This
this
is
is where they were
This is the
storing their equipment, is that right? Where they were storing
It
their
was, and it's referenced
plow?
in the minutes.
And
We had a
Scott
request, specific
responded
request.
to that. he sent something pretty,
Yeah, see, I don't clever
let's
things.
circle back and find out, and we can even have him resend it. 'cause
Thank
I'm
you.
pretty sure he did
I
respond.
missed it, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that
Okay,
was
so that's-
one. The second member item I had was regarding the meeting of the HPB last evening. I think that they will be sending us a letter regarding question in our code they would like the trustees to take a look at and
Okay.
address, and that has to do with our sign code. That there was a redundancy there or an ambiguity, and they'd like us as a board to review it
Okay.
and see if it doesn't need correction or addressing.
Oh, it's a member item, so I was going to say we can't direct Jeff.
Yeah.
But we can follow
Just a
up.
member item.
Okay,
I'm
we
just
can
calling it to your
follow up.
attention.
Yeah.
We will probably be getting a letter, and then we could,
Okay, then we'll
I just wanted
bring it back on the
everyone
agenda.
to be
Yeah.
aware.
Okay, thank you.
that had occurred. And I noticed that the railing is missing in the front. Does that mean that that project is moving along with the replacement of the column?
Yeah.
And,
No, the columns are not. That still is
no,
not.
no,
No, not on the column shed.
The wrought iron.
The wrought
the wrought
iron
iron?
is being taken care of. The columns are still, I'm waiting for a response from the state or
The
DSNY.
grant.
We've given them all the information. I'm waiting for the final approval from them to go ahead and start with contractors.
That's the last step.
We're getting closer. We're very
Okay.
close. They have everything they have requested.
Yeah.
I've given them a kidney in too.
okay, great, thank you. Yeah, that sounds like me and the DOT.
Yeah, it's
It
pretty
is.
much the same
Birthday
thing.
greetings, invite them for Thanksgiving, whatever it takes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it. But they got everything. So, but the good news is the railings are being taken care of.
Yeah. Okay, any other member items?
I have
Go ahead.
mine's a quick one. So speaking of the DOT, our beautiful park that I wanted to put in with the, at the four corners with the bench,
Oh,
that
by the
now is
Phoenix.
going to be used
Okay.
or moved, they denied all of my plantings except for hostas. So they did say that we can do hostas, which do go down in the winter, so the snowplow and, the south won't affect them. So since they did approve hostas, should we move forward? Do you want to move forward? I mean,
Why don't we
it's gonna
take a
get-
look, if it's only the hostas, let's take a look at where we would want the hostas to go, because if it's only going to be hostas, do you know what I mean?
Right.
I can help with it, I have a ton of hostas, I can
I
even
know, and I
subdivide.
even asked Mr. Newcomb,
I
he
know.
has a ton of houses
Yeah,
too that he.
but I'm happy to
can support as
donate.
well.
I'm
Sounds
happy
like
to
they're all
donate.
right with plants. They didn't like the idea of bushes.
Yes.
Anything with height,
Anything with height.
they don't want to add any
So-
height.
So
You know,
maybe,
we-
yeah, so maybe we can mingle in some other low growing
Ground
plants.
cover.
So,
So how do
Something.
we move forward with doing some kind of?
I think what we should do is, and Zach and, we can meet out there with you and just figure out where the houses can go.
Okay.
I would just point out, we haven't gotten formal approval from them yet.
No, but once we get the approval.
Once we get the
Yeah,
approval.
yeah, for sure, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is a random thought, but that big silver obnoxious apparatus now in our four corners. What if we, instead of thinking of it from an art standpoint and trying to get everybody to approve it and like what they see, what if we use it as a wayfinding? And so at each of the four sides, if you were to look at that side, what if there were to be sort of an aerial map imposed? You are here, and where you're looking is what's in front of you on that. So as you're looking, at the building itself, it'll be residential streets behind it. And so you are here. And I like something of activating it, where we're painting it with wayfinding, and I just think it'd be a lot neater than a big silver.
They have a lot of that down at Neighborhood of the Arts.
yeah,
You know,
I
but
had brought a
it's-
proposal before the board last year, or the year before,
Rep with-
and it included from Spiegel's book, sepia-colored photographs that show the area at the turn of the century, and so where you're looking, you're acknowledging that here's what this looked like in
I love
1900.
that idea.
And that was what we were hoping to wrap that silver thing
And it would
in.
connect us with the history
Right.
of what that really looked like.
What you're looking at, you are here.
Because you literally physically see the building behind
Right.
you as it stands today.
So what happened with that, Lily?
You guys,
We just have to decide,
I think what
someone's
happened
got to
is
pick up
we
the
went
reins and
more-
run
We
with
went
it.
more trying to use
I
the,
think we went more the art
Plantings.
and planting and gardening route.
mhm.
And now that maybe the DOT is saying, hey, no, what if we went to Historic Pittsburgh and said, hey, if you were to put 4 images on each of these sides of this, what would they be?
Yeah, and actually,
Let them propose to
sure.
us some ideas.
Sure, yep, and,
Found a company that does.
yeah.
To put it on.
Yeah, we have wrap companies. And also the photographs that Historic Pittsburgh has, I have hanging in my office.
Mhm.
And, there's an opportunity there, I think, I'm not gonna use my photographs, but you can
Sure.
see the sepias
Yeah,
that describe this whole area of the four corners, because you look at the photographs from different angles, so it's kind of cool. And Historic Pittsburgh probably has the same photographs.
Right.
yeah.
So
I
if you
mean,
want, go in my office and look.
I think if somebody, it doesn't
And
matter.
maybe Vicki Prophet too, our historian. as well.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
to me who, but somebody, if they could bring forward 6 to 8 photographs, and then we get to pick which ones we like, and move a thing forward that is useful and activates something, and maybe we then go to the DOT, and then put some houses around it, and make it look pretty.
The DOT will be far more receptive to wrapping.
Oh, yeah.
They get that, and they feel that it's not disruptive to the, equipment.
Yeah.
So,
Is there more than, there's one of those as well,
mhm,
down on South and Jefferson?
Yeah.
South Main and Jefferson?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a big one there.
mhm.
So if we can get a series of photos.
Yep.
And the other thing too is, the one down on Jefferson and South Main, it doesn't have to be the same. It could be wayfinding for the active transportation plan with bicycle routes, if we wanted to do something different, right? I kind of like the idea of trying to bring the historical stuff forward, or wayfinding, one of the two.
I like the
Okay,
historical.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What I can do is, because I know the company and all that, I can follow up, and we can even put that on the next agenda.
Okay.
We can reach out to Historic Pittsburgh
They print it
also.
on vinyl, and then the vinyl is applied right to the, and the DOT, I don't think has a problem with that, as long as they can access their box.
It's sort of like shrink wrapping it,
Yeah.
is really what it is. It's kind of a cool process, and,
So we still would have to go through the.
oh, yeah, you always have to get the
To wrap
approval.
it.
Yeah, but that's a little more, I wouldn't say perfunctory, but they're used to that.
Yeah.
They, there's so many, and even in this area, that are wrapped that way.
They're going to want to see what it is.
Yes, exactly,
Okay.
yeah, so.
Maybe, you could even do like
Yeah.
images of people and biographies on the shorter sides.
Sure,
and
all kinds of good stuff.
Whatever you want to do, I don't know.
So between Historic Pittsburgh and I'm also thinking Vicki Prophet, our historian, I think we can come up with some nice ideas for all of us. Okay, so let's try to get that on the next agenda. Some people are going to be on vacation, I know. I think Vicki might be, but, we'll turn it around, just because it's still nice weather. We'll be able to do something. Great, okay, any other member items? Justin, anything from you tonight?
I got some.
Oh, okay.
We've never sent, I think, the DOT a letter saying we'd like to get our parking back on South Main Street. I would like to do that. I don't know who does that. I'm not an expert in writing that. But I think as far as the work the DOT's done in our community, they're done doing it. And so if we're going to have some asks, I think it'd be good to get on their radar sooner rather than later. Next time they restripe or repaint. I do think that on South Main in particular, the absence of that parking has led to accelerated traffic speeds. I think it's important to pay attention to where the parking is, not around intersections, exits from Stonegate, et cetera, but having parking out there has definitely, it was a slower pace of traffic.
Oh, yeah, anytime you have parking, it's traffic calming.
So did they take that away for a reason, or
They
just
did.
forget
They
to not strike?
Yes.
Because we striped before.
Yeah.
Can we go and strike?
Well, why don't we, do you want to, okay, and then chime in, because we have gone way down a path with DOT over and over again.
Right.
South Main Street, as you head out of the village towards Jefferson Road, narrows.
Yep.
So what the NISTOT did was they gave us the option of getting rid of all parking. And we said no. And we said we still want parking on both sides. They said no, because of the narrowing of the road. And so what we ended up with is the parking, on the side of the churches and all that, and then limited parking as the street starts to narrow, because they moved the center line over to create the side for all of the parking to remain, and then have decreased through their striping
Right.
the idea, that you can't have parking on the other side.
But the reason they required the
Mhm.
lanes to be as wide
Mhm.
was because we have a complete streets, or they said we have a complete streets requirement, which for them meant priority for bicyclist traffic, which you needed a wider lane for a vehicle and a bicycle.
That was
my
actually
understanding.
waived. That actually was waived for that portion of the street to maintain all that parking. Otherwise, it would have even been further over and there would have been a bike lane. So this was a negotiation we went through with Renee, because she's,
Yeah.
walk like Pittsford and everything. And we recognized that even with a bike lane, it wouldn't even be safe still for bikers,
Right.
because it's a main thoroughfare and it's a state road. So that's how it ended up being what it is. I would love to have parking on both sides. I would love to have them move the center line over.
I think sometimes with things like this, it isn't that we're gonna get what we want. It's just making sure that they persistently know that we want something different than they gave us.
Yeah, we always
That
advocate.
there is a safety issue, that we feel in our village, there's a
Right.
safety issue.
Because if you don't persistently go on record saying that you essentially widen the streets, right, and we want our parking back, then I think they feel like they might be able to take it one step further next time, right? And I'm just a little leery to
I can
not.
tell you, we advocate so consistently. I don't think you have any idea of the number of letters, emails, phone calls, and discussions, and Zach can speak to that.
Yeah, no, during the whole design process, this was a
I remember reading the entire review and getting rejected, and they gave us some stuff, and they didn't give us that.
So every 2 years is when they come back through the restrike. If there's a plan that's, we can put together before the end of probably
We can
June
propose it
next
again.
year.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, bring the DOT in and start the conversation, to see if there's something that would work better. for
Who does,
us.
who does that then? Is that you? Is that the mayor?
Maybe myself.
Yeah,
maybe
we always work on it. Yeah,
honestly.
we can drag you in too, huh?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's really what it takes, is the consistent,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how.
So for a long time, they were kind of shut off. They didn't want to hear a whole lot, but
They're
since
far
this
more
whole project
receptive.
started, and they're going to be coming back through to do 31 west of Monterey Bridge.
They're gonna be doing the bridge.
Monterey Bridge.
Yeah,
So they're still going to have a presence here. But they've had a more open ear that I found in the last few years.
Mhm.
Okay, so it might be, worthwhile.
yeah, it might be the time to do it
force
again.
them again with
Yeah.
an actual plan, and see if they would consider it.
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
so
so that starts with an email.
we can start the conversation
from-
again, that the community has
You.
responded, that, we can start the whole thing.
Yep. And besides, there's a new
And we'll pull you in the loop on that.
version of the MUTCD that's coming out.
That's right.
And
Can you tell them what the,
So,
tell them what that is?
MUTCD is the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices.
It's a
which-
national manual.
It dictates how they are able to set up roads, and that's what allowed this 800-foot turning lane out in front of the building here, which we also fought them on.
And we also
But
wanted a
there's a new
crosswalk.
version of it that was just adopted. I'm not sure if it's actually in effect for any of the new design work yet, but they're starting to take consideration of that new manual as a reference when they're.
Okay, so the idea of putting together a comprehensive request of the DOT for improvements in the village for pedestrian and striping and whatever it may be is something that we should get before the end of the year.
If we start the conversation
I would start
now,
now.
just bring them in and say, hey, we're considering these changes, we don't like how this is. Is there anything that you can offer with, some suggestions? See if they can come back with a plan, or we can reach out to our traffic engineer.
I know, I was
and see
thinking of
If we can put something on paper to present to them.
So here's the thing that we've really discovered with the DOT is you probably have to have a minimum of maybe 10 to 12 sort of contacts to get the attention. Pursuant to the letter we sent you 6 months ago, here's the letter from 5 months ago, here's the letter from 4 months ago, here's the, that's really what this is, so we need to start it now.
Well, I'd love to have a
Essentially.
letter that we could get behind and then just pass around the community and get a bunch of signatures on.
Yep, we've
And
done
then
that.
present it with the DOT, so it's not just from us, but it's from the community
Yeah,
as
and
well.
that helps to engage the community that way. And I also have been talking to residents over at Rand and Jeff. They are terrible speeding through there, and there's a whole bunch of kids over there. So that's probably another petition that's going to be showing up as well from that.
West Jefferson and Sutherland was still an issue.
And that's another one too.
Right, so maybe we
Exactly.
commingle all of these issues,
Yeah.
and, you know, this is.
And I've got one more issue to commingle with that. Is
For
the,
commingling?
right, is the traffic light right in the center of our village, where it favors traffic going east-west and really does not going north-south. So residents that actually live in the village would want to get out of the village and back into the village. There's always this backup, and then we've got the churches, right? So there's always a backup north-south, and there's a free flow east-west, which encourages, that pass through the village instead of servicing village residents. So who dictates how fast those lights change?
They're all driven off of the camera. I think that detects the traffic that's backing up at them. But from my experience with that light, I sit trying to head south for a long time before the east and west
Yeah,
flow
absolutely.
it cycles through.
Because the traffic study they did showed that the bulk of the traffic, because they're all about moving cars on state
Right,
roads.
exactly. They don't
So
care if
they're going,
residents-
oh, east,
Yes.
west, that's the biggie.
But
You
now
know.
there's a huge backup here because they, like I said, they have churches there. And the other thing is the buttons are always broken and the
Which
buttons
I'm
they don't
constantly
switch.
reaching out to
Yeah.
our
That's-
about.
okay, they don't switch when pedestrians are sitting there. If you don't hit it, like,
You have
10
to-
minutes before it
yeah.
changes, it
It's the
doesn't
longest
change.
light
Yeah, you
ever.
have to be quick with the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, all right, well, so that's,
it's a nuisance.
It's
those
constant.
beautiful new lights are just not very
It's
functional.
constant, it's just,
One of the
They might look pretty, they don't look
If
very.
you're ever going across, if you're ever going kitty corner across, hit both buttons.
Right.
And then pick which one's first, and then the
oh,
next
everybody
one.
does that, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
So
true.
just note to the community.
Yeah.
if you're going
Okay,
kitty corner,
so this is,
first.
okay, so now we have, we're going to follow up on
right.
this.
I got it.
Were you saying, oh, you were just moving, stretching?
I
If
got it.
someone's
Yep.
creating a list,
Mhm.
one other thing that we should consider when reaching.
Everybody put together your list for NISTOD.
Are the turning lanes, getting rid of those.
Well, we have the approval for the 2 parking spots there that I think we should go for by the Bank of America.
Oh, we can put 2 parking spots there?
Yeah, we negotiated that right
It's
before
just a
the,
matter of changing the signage.
we have to change the signage, so we're gonna, let's put that on the next
Oh, I
agenda,
think that, well,
because
I mean,
Yes.
it's already permitted, it's just the signage
we got the
doesn't
permission, we
go
negotiated
along
that.
with what is permitted.
what's
Yeah.
amazing about that, if you put 2 spots there, then
Stops the right on road.
you're gonna have a much longer line going back.
Longer than it already is.
So
Okay.
when they were
Visibility
looking
may
at
be
it,
gone.
I want you to listen to what Zach's about to say, because we have empirical data about that instead of anything anecdotal.
when they were reconstructing that curb ramp out in
Yeah.
front of the bridal shop, that lane was shut down for maybe 3 weeks.
Mhm.
There wasn't one issue. Even the traffic engineer that was on site the entire time said that,
Yeah, so that,
a good candidate for that.
but see, they got the data then, see, that's what they saw empirically.
Yeah.
And because every time we make a request, it's like, well, we don't have an issue, it becomes anecdotal to them. So let's bring that back then on the next,
Yep.
to change that signage and create those 2, I think it was 2 spots we thought we could get
Two
in there.
spots.
I remember we measured that out.
There is existing parking that's over next to chandeliers on the Monroe Ave side
Yep.
that nobody utilizes. I'm the only one that parks, and I love it because it's kind of like,
It's good for traffic
quiet spot for me
I
to
know.
go and do what I gotta do, but,
Okay,
I'll just go with it.
okay, let's keep going here.
Just 2 closing things. One, it'd be nice to have something on the calendar for when we can get together and talk about zoning, parking, and other various things. We gotta
Okay,
have that, a workshop, I think, or maybe
Mhm,
maybe
yeah.
that's with Eric, I don't know which. And then the other one we had talked about, Jeff had mentioned he still had something to do right before he left with regards to this, but now that we're all kind of back, or I'm back from vacation, we really need to start moving forward the R5 zoning code update and discussion, which involves me getting comments from you guys as to how you might want it to look, whether residential or mixed use, and then me trying to meld those things together in something that creates a new zone. I think that's the route we were going before, rather than pushing it into one of the other two zones. And so I'd like to try to have a crack at that, rather than having a consultant come in and do it. And so we ended our conversation last with the challenges of special permits, and the discussion is whether or not we wanted to have it be across the entire canal front on both the north and south side of Monroe, and that sort of thing. So anyway, any comments?
Well, we may want to, we did have an attorney-client session with Spitzer regarding this, and I think we may want to circle back a little bit on that before we do anything in public.
Okay, so how quickly?
Because there's some legal elements to this.
Sure, so how quickly can we schedule that? Where was he in that conversation?
I can reach out to Dan and see when he can put I assume, since it's attorney-client session, you guys can do it Zoom or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, just to become a little more current on where we are with some other things.
It's been about 3 or 4 weeks. So
Yeah.
Thanks,
yeah.
Dave, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so no more member items. I don't have anything. I
Can I
think.
have one number?
Of course you can.
I'm sorry, it just crossed my mind.
Thanks, Susan. Have a good evening.
We'd like to do, we don't have a second meeting for the end of the month, but we do need to pay bills.
Do you need a quick bill pay?
Yeah, can we have a quick bill pay meeting, maybe like July 30th or?
Just to wrap it up for the month?
Yeah, it can be at noon, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
I just need 3 people and
Yeah, let's try to put together a
that
forum.
week. I mean,
Well, no, you could just even do it over your lunch hour or something, right?
right.
Just to come in and
It
approve.
would be, the only purpose would be for bill pay.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done that in the past where it takes like,
Yeah.
So did you want
2
to
minutes.
pick a date that we can do it?
Looking at July 30th, how's that work for everybody?
At what time?
I think that's good.
Yeah, you guys pick a time, what works with your schedules, because this is literally just an administrative action.
Can we do 4 o'clock?
We just
You
need a
guys can
forum.
get it done during the day.
What date are you looking at, July?
July 30th
30th.
at 4? I could do it 4. Anybody else?
Okay.
It looks like that date is good for me.
Great.
By 4.
And that's what, Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday.
Okay, put it in the calendar, 4.
I will verify the village calendar and I'll email you guys out,
Yeah, just do a confirmation for
just so we
everybody.
can keep the bills paid.
And everybody
Try-
confirm whether or not you can be there for sure, so
Yeah.
we're certain we have a quorum.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, we tried going a month and we just.
I mean, literally, it's just coming in,
Yeah,
and
15
then the
minutes.
motion, yeah, even less than that. We've done it a million times.
Closer to the calendar, you guys can be there for that date.
All right, but if we can get 3 at least.
I
Yeah.
can't be there.
I can be there.
Lily,
I guess I'll have to be there. I guess I won't have vacation.
Oh, no,
Okay,
you're on vacation?
I
Well,
might
then
be.
Well, let's switch it.
Well, we got 3. We have Lisa.
You said you couldn't be there.
It looks like I cannot be there.
Can you be there earlier in the day?
No, I think I might be out of town that week.
Okay.
Later in the day?
No, he's out, he's
Oh,
out of town.
Can you be there later in the day?
Can you pick a different day?
Let me look at our calendar, I'll email the board.
Okay.
She'll pull the board,
We'll
she'll
figure
pull
it
the
out.
board.
We don't-
Okay.
We'll find a different day.
Okay, I make a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussing an employee matter.
I second.
It'll be quick.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Please
All
hit
right,
pause.
Amy.
Yep. Mute. Yep.
motion to end executive session? Wait, not yet.
Not yet. She's got
I
it.
gotta be on camera when I do it.
Yeah.
They just heard me, but now I gotta be on camera.
Okay, let's start all over.
Motion to end executive session?
Second.
Okay, trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I'll make a motion that we hire Nathaniel Evangelista as a groundskeeper laborer in the DPW at the rate of $22 an hour. This hire would be at the earliest availability, but subject to references, physical and background check, and other HR processing.
I second.
Okay, trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I make a motion to approve Zach and Dorothea working together to create a interim on-call position and other leadership responsibilities within the DPW for a one-week term at $150 per week, to be determined, the employee be determined at Zach's discretion.
And a memorandum of
And a
understanding.
memorandum of
To create-
understanding
Yeah. with the
to
union.
create that position with a union,
With responsibilities.
with a list of responsibilities associated and the like.
I second.
Okay, trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Roll call.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
I'm all over the place.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Good night.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're hitting pause here.